welcome to And that would be metal, movies, and marijuana.
Play it. Usually there it is. We're picking it up.
It's picking up.
But
go ahead.
That last fucking show that we recorded, I lost somewhere on the computer. Saved it to the desktop. So just at the very top, and I just didn't even look at that. And I was looking all through the computer and shit. And
you found it, but you lost it for a while.
Yeah. So I can fucking look at it again today, but still feel like a fucking retard for not just. But you're not supposed to say that. Just like you're not supposed to stir the pot, and that's exactly what Trap did. And I don't want to take up for him, but I think my comment still stands. Like, I've never sold a record, so maybe I'm the wrong man to ask and shit. Never played any live shows. 600 albums, I believe, and like that's so much less percentage-wise comparatively to what they sold on their last album or the album before that. And like,
I got you. How sure are you though that like of your opinion on this? Are you 87% sure
for the 600 album, or?
No, I'm saying just in general, because 87% is a lot, and that's the drop off from sales they had from their last one.
Right.
And like I said earlier, when we were sitting down talking, and like we kind of popped that article up, I was like, man. So I don't think it's one of those things where publicity helped. Obviously it didn't help in that sense.
Right.
I don't know if it necessarily hurt them either. I mean,
everybody's talking about it, at least in the metal community. As much as they're talking shit, they're still talking.
Yeah, it is a conversation. Like,
right.
I mean, it's not went away. Like, they're not. It's not going away. Like, people have been bringing it up. Like, I don't know if it's the kind of publicity you want though, because they're not talking friendly. Like, I mean, no matter how you shake it, 600 album sales your first week for an established act. That's kind of that. It's not good. Like, it doesn't bode well for them. And I know that you got to consider, like, the current state of affairs, world status right now. Corona pandemic. It's all affecting it. I agree. But I mean, like, what they go from like 3,600 in 2016 to like 600. It's like a 3,000 album drop. I mean, that's significant.
I almost wonder, like, what was the one before that though? Because like the one before that had
like
the
46, or
but that had the Headstrong and shit on it.
I don't know how many. Truthfully told, I don't know how many albums they put out since then. I wasn't a fan of that song when it came out. I wasn't a fan of them, so I can't give an insight onto that. Like as far as that goes. But I remember checking that article and being like, eee, because like. I think the thing that made it the worst, though, was him predicting it's going to sell 5,000 copies. Like, he was like, we got that in the bag. And then, like, it comes out and it sells 600 day one. Like, I feel like he might have spited his own record. I feel like people might not have bought it out of spite. They were just kind of like to the point where, fuck this asshole. Throwing shit to the wall to see if it stuck. This didn't stick. And there comes a time that you got to take the wipes out and wipe the shit off, and find a new surface to cling to. Because
wouldn't it be unfortunate though if the whole band is paying for the actions of the lead singer just on the social 100%. Media? And I really do feel that way, and I wish Leo was here so he can clarify. Because I swear to it, Trap, Breaking Benjamin, I want to say Shine Down, and maybe Saliva or some shit like that. Make America Rock Again, possibly. I don't know. Trap played mediocre set, whatever, right? This? Salem Civic Center.
When? I don't remember when this was.
Man. I'm not sure. They could have had Alien Ant Farm with them also, but like it wasn't that fucking shit because I did leave with a shirt from there. But it was the one before that. When I was still big into Breaking Benjamin and shit, and I thought, like, no, it's fucking hard enough.
I didn't know if it was, like, in past, like, 5-10 years.
It could be 10, but I think it was closer to 6, 7.
Okay.
But it could have been 10. Fuck, I don't know. I've been fucking divorced for almost 5 fucking years. You kidding me?
It's weird, isn't it?
Dude, time flies when you're... Okay.
No, it's all good, dude. Mine went through in 2016, so I've been,
right.
4 years now.
Just rocking and rolling. But...
Yeah.
it just feels to me that a lot of people, at least online, it's so easy to throw blame and throw shade and be like, this dude is an asshole and an idiot and shit. But like, I don't know, man. I've just been on this whole kick where I'm like, I'm tired of playing that game, us versus them. And it's like you're either on Trap's side and that fucking 600 people that bought the album, that believes in the band, the message. Fuck it, I don't fucking know what they believe in. Like, I don't. But am I going to be like, yeah, these fucking retards over here? Like, I don't think so. I think it's low-hanging fruit, in my opinion.
I can totally agree with the low-hanging fruit. I don't know, man. That us versus them mentality, like, it speaks, and like, you know, obviously the easy thing I could say, let's go to politics, but I'm not going to do that. But I'm saying, I think in general, that's a thing with people nowadays. Like, I just see it everywhere. It doesn't matter. It's like either, like, you know, a group is super good, or a movie super good, or it's utter cynical shit, and it's you know, it's one or the other, you know. And you've seen me argue with our friend the Contrarian about these things, because I get so fucking frustrated when somebody's just like, yeah, that's bad. Why? Because it fucking sucks. Really? I'm sorry?
Well, I checked out the first 5-10 minutes and I said, fuck it, this is shit. And it's just like, hold on, that's a 2-hour show. And you checked 5-10 minutes out and said it was shit and cut it off. I mean,
hey man, sometimes things don't resonate, but if you're doing that all the time,
and you
something's on you.
But you like the other shit that's eerily similar to it, and like, a part of me almost wonders what side he took with this whole HTC or HTW versus UUU.
Oh, you
did
saw
you see a fucking meme, yeah, I did. I did not understand it at first, and I was like, what the hell? And then when I finally read somebody's fucking post on it and shit, and he was like, yeah, I take my time. Every fucking week I'm putting up my own creative individual post and shit, and I'm like, that is right. It takes a community to make a good fucking Facebook page, and like A24, that one's good. If I had to choose between Hill Turn and Unpopular Unsuccessful, yeah, I'm going Unpopular Unsuccessful all day, every day.
I've never used the other one. I didn't even know what it was until
it was Wrestle Chop, and I was like, I'm gonna see what everybody's talking about, all the Facebook pages and shit, and like, so I was a fan of both of them.
A caveat to anyone who actually hears this: we are talking about a wrestling meme page on Facebook. So, as minuscule as that might sound,
there was a war.
The important fact is that someone was stealing creations, and that's just something you can't do unless you're doing it in homage or in honor, and you're giving credit to the original, you know, creator. And I agree with that. You know, I think that's a big thing. Just give credit, you know, like, you're taking a free thing and spreading it for free. Excuse me. I don't think anybody's disagreeing that you can't just yank a meme from Facebook and share it. We've all done it. But, like, usually we share it from the place it came from,
right?
Or, you know, some people put credit.
If it's from shit posting and shit, though, like, shit posting, for some reason, if I share it from that particular Facebook group page, it won't post to the actual page. Like, so I actually got to go to the main person's fucking page and shit, and like, as much as I could share it from there, it seems easier to just take a screenshot or save photo, click clack patty whack, and now we got a whole archive of shit that I've stolen over the past and whatnot, and like, I don't know. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's bad.
Have you gave credit to the creators?
In certain things, if it's like, what's that called? Circle.
And I'm not gonna say we're perfect, because obviously, you know, people forget.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, the argument this morning was one page, and let's take the wrestling meme thing out of it. We're big fucking dorks. Don't worry about that
Marks.
shit. But yeah, you know, I'm on wrestling's dick so hard I'm its nutsack. So, you know, like, you think about it. And it just goes deeper. It's creation, man. Like, you're spending time making this thing. I don't care if a meme took you 5 minutes to make, or if you had to sit there with your fucking, you know, engines roaring for an hour to come up with that dumbass picture. Like, still, you know, like,
one thing I would do.
The effort in.
One thing I do
credit
that maybe some don't. They'll just simply hit that like. And that was one of that things that I read on this guy's shit, and he was like, every meme that I do like, I don't just click that like, I'll go ahead and comment on it too, and just like to get activity to the shit. And I'm like, that is how this whole thing fucking continues to evolve and grow and shit, and it adds more people to it. So
yeah, and I'm guilty of that myself,
right.
And I've realized up until this past year, because I'm not a spring chicken. as far as like media sense and stuff like that, I worked a lot and shit, so I didn't really dig into like binge watching shit over the past 10 years. Like that's been a big thing. People really got into binge watching and stay home, really digging in. People watch YouTube all the time. I've just now got to that point
people. Motherfucker.
I've just now got to the point where like I will watch YouTube and shit like that all day. But even then, up until like a couple years ago, like dude, I never liked videos. Like I'd subscribe, I'd check out people's stuff, I get notifications. I just never liked it. I never thought to do it. But then it's just the more and more I pay attention, I'm like, man, everybody's asking me to do that. So there's a purpose behind it. And sometimes I just don't think about it. Like as much as I enjoy a video, some of them I've watched multiple times. Like, and I'm just not taking that extra second to click that and
follow. It's a simple follow. You don't even have to like the page, just follow the shit. And if they put something else up, like you'll be notified of it. So like sometimes you gotta cut the notifications off and shit, but it's like,
well, I was just saying, even ingrained into YouTube, which I watch all the time,
right?
I still didn't have that just habitual like, oh, I like this, like I feel like I'm almost.
I grew up on that Philip DeFranco shit where like he grew that shit himself, and like I was there at the beginning when he used to do his own little fucking shit, and that grew into like a actual decent industry and shit for him. And as much as I do respect what he did, I just disagree with him on a lot of things now. So I'm like, well, shit, I'll listen, but I'm not gonna be as active a listener as I used to be, and like share and try to get this word out and whatnot. So I don't know, you tend to grow and evolve into the person that you want to be, but I think that from day one I realized the power of us together as a people instead of just a singular person going. Like I'm telling you, a fucking rising tide raises all boats and shit. But it's that whole bootstrap argument where you got to do a little work to it, and I get that.
That's
but
true.
If all I say is, hey, why don't you hit that like on that page? And that's just too much fucking work. Like, man, I'll do it when I get around to it type shit. And I'm like,
and I've realized it too, and I just thought about that. Like, so now when I watch any of my favorite creators this past couple of years, like I love AVG and I love the Angry Video Game Nerd. Been a fan for a long time. So anytime that guy puts something up, I'll like it before I even watch it, But I know I'm going to enjoy it.
Right.
So I'm just like, everything he puts out's good. Like,
I think people get scared when you ask for certain things because they think you're going to start asking for money or some shit. And like, I don't get that at all, how like somebody can misconstrue like, hey, he asked me to follow him on Twitch or some shit. And I'm like, okay, like, well, do you not have a Twitch account? Like, if that's the case, maybe you got a point, but it's pretty easy to set one up right quick and never fucking check it again. Just give somebody a follow. Is that too much to ask? Maybe, but if there's somebody else that you do follow on Twitch in the first place and shit, and you're already there, why fucking not? Like, I don't know. I don't have a good reason not to support those who.
I can't disagree.
So, I don't know.
I can't disagree. No, I think it comes down to, like, I get that there's people are always talking about, there's nothing to watch, there's nothing to do. It's fucking horse shit. There's so much content. We are drowned in content. Like,
I'm bored.
Well, a lot of times, man, like, I think there's so much, because I have a problem with this, man, and I admit it. Like, I'll get home from work and I'll think all day, I'm going to do this, I got this to do, I got this. And I'll get home, I'll watch TV, I'll lay down, I'll fall fucking asleep, and I'll be asleep for like 7 hours. And then I'm up all night doing nothing, Like, just not, I can't ever seem to sink into one thing to just grind into. And sometimes I do, and I enjoy it. So it's like I know that's what I need to do is just pick something and get into it.
Right.
But a lot of times I feel like I'm so overwhelmed with options that it's like, oh, what do I do? Do I watch? Oh man, shit, this new oh man, biographic. Simon Whistler's got a new video. I want to see. What's What Culture putting out today? Like, oh shit, last night, man, I was at about 7:30, man. I was about to pop on a game. I was thinking after we got off the phone, and I was like, oh shit, man, fuck, I'm gonna catch AEW, fucking Fight for the Fallen, baby.
FTR.
Yeah, man.
Lucha Brothers, like, God damn,
dude, that fucking Jurassic Express Elite match, that was awesome.
I love
best segment of the night.
Jericho Juice.
Cassidy. Oh my goodness,
God
dude.
damn it. It's just like what WCW did back in fucking NWO days.
Yeah, every wrestling thing that we watch is derivative of something. It's called inspiration. Suck a butt.
They did do some good things,
I lost my shit during that angle. I know, whatever, people born, we'll look back into it. But I lost my shit during that angle and cracked up. It was funny when he was talking shit. It was funny when he was pouring a thing out. The demo god thing got me.
Yeah.
Like, I love the fact that they're calling out the internet fucking battle right now between fans. Like, just blatantly making it a thing, putting it in public. Something that I don't think their competition does often enough. I thought it was very upfront and hilarious. And then at the end of it, after everybody's standing there drinking juice, give me a towel! Give me a towel! And he holds the towel up, and it's just a fucking portrait of his face, man. And this is fucking.
This is why we watch, though. This is the smiles that we expect when we watch wrestling and shit. But it's not always the same case when you go to the other program.
And last thing I'll say on the wrestling thing.
Yeah.
Afterwards, Jericho sat at commentary, talked about making, orange juice and vodka by wringing out his shirt into a glass.
Oh, yeah.
And talk shit about every person in the ring while continuously putting them over.
Yeah.
Like
$7,000 coat.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like, I mean, just every time somebody's like, I don't know if he's one of the best, I was
he's
like,
the fucking GOAT,
shit,
dude.
Man.
Give me a break. He's still doing it. Like, he's going to be in a match, I think, next week and shit.
Well, they said, he kind of lost his luster the past few years in WWE. I said, yeah, you're right. Maybe he did. I said, but hear me out here. I was like, he came in there and wasn't really able to do what he wanted. And now the fucking brakes are off, and it's great. Because the last time he could was, I think, in that 2008-9 angle when he was kind of doing like the bad guy in the suit, the Harvey Bardem, No Country for Old Men type villain. And that shit was cool as shit, and he sold that shit so well. So entertaining as fuck. But,
that lion tamer still hurts, and it still fucking gets people to submit and shit. And like, wrestling's fake. Gotcha. Let me throw you in a lion tamer right quick and tell me how fucking fake it is. But I don't know.
But like I said, man, that just shows you. Like I said, I get I'm so overwhelmed with options. It's hard for me to.
Dormy.
And that was the thing with me. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
God damn it! Like, there's just too much good shit to it.
Good show all together, man. I didn't like the towel thing. I didn't like the throwing in the towel.
I don't like. Well.
I don't want to see that. That was something they did. One of their. Remember that? They did that with.
He worked on that arm the whole time.
Jim
Ross brought up a good point.
I get the story. I don't think it didn't make sense. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I didn't like to see it. Like,
you don't want to see him lose though. And as much as he did lose, he didn't lose on purpose. Like,
have them get outside the ring and continuously beat on each other till there's a count out. Have a rematch that way.
These refs are different, though.
He still
remember?
did lose because the towel got thrown in.
Right, but these refs are different, though. They're not going to throw out a fucking title main event because of a count.
Unless they just get completely out of control and refuse to get back in the ring. Like, why? What if they just spent the last 10 minutes throwing each other around the arena, breaking shit, like going crazy? These guys really are going at it.
Right.
He's got something to prove. He's winning this belt, and Moxley isn't ready to lose it. He's got something to prove by retaining it against this newcomer. I mean, I just think there might have been a better way to sell that story. I'm also not a fucking writer for professional wrestling. I got my opinions. I'm not saying I'm right.
Better than anything the WWE's ever did with the character they known as Dean Ambrose. Like, that's better than anything.
I don't know. I was really big when Ambrose won the title. That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I probably missed that, admittedly.
Yeah.
Because I missed
he held the WWE Championship. He won a belt. He won a big one. So, fuck whatever they want about him. He's on the fucking list forever, Too bad. I don't care how mad you are about it. But like I said, man, it goes back to that thing that there's always so much to do. It's hard for me. And last night it was kind of like I had to sink in for those 2 hours and watch AEW, And it's just, I don't know, man. That just tends to be a lot of my time is just figuring out what I need to do because we have so much content to indulge in. So, and I think with a plethora of content, you're obviously going to have a slew of creators, some working together, some not. And it's just fair and balanced to give people credit where credit's due. Like, I mean, we live in a world where a lot of people make money just reviewing shit other people made on YouTube. Like, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but, like, still, like, like those people are still giving credit. They're giving their analysis and their opinions, but they're still talking about that product. Where that product came from.
True.
They're not popping up there like, hey, this movie came out. I don't know where it's from, but here, let me talk about it. That shit would not fly. So, like, I just think it's right. I think it's a morality thing. Like, give people their due. The obvious statement here.
I mean,
welcome to the obvious podcast.
No, because I keep going back to the fucking end scene of fucking Fight Club. I don't get how Brad Pitt is chasing him up the stairs and shit before the whole fucking final solution or whatever, right? Like, and they show it on the camera that like Edward Norton's whipping the shit out of himself, kind of. Mm-hmm. So like I get it, but I still don't though. Like, how does like Brad Pitt look that badass and like act like the antagonist and shit throughout the whole fucking movie? And then what about that particular bullet shot killed that part of the brain when it's through his mouth? Like, am I fucking tripping?
Symbolic.
Fuck.
I think it's symbolic. The kill scene. As far as like the stairs, like I'd have to watch it again to get the true feel. And I watched it not too long ago. But I think that's one of those films that you're kind of like in for the ride at that point.
Definitely.
You know? Because I remember like a lot of people like...
but even Pitt, like, what's that smell? And he falls back after he throws out like... But like I don't know how it blew out the back of his brain, but it only blew out the back of Edward Norton's mouth. Check that fucking shit again. Like
because,
I'm saying,
I think that was the idea. Is because like right before that, like Durden has the gun, and then he's like,
right.
"You have it, I have it." He kind of gains control over his mind, and at that point I would look at it like he has choice on how to do it, and he chooses to shoot to kill him. It's almost like he has to take that drastic of an action to really know he did it. You get what I'm saying?
Solid point.
I get that, but
I get that now.
But also, like, again, like, I love that movie. I also kind of feel like the end's the weakest part. Not that it's bad.
I thought there was only 4 explosions. It seemed like every goddamn building around them completely just fucking demolished down on the ground and shit. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Like, the ending had a really cool aesthetic to it.
And why was she back in town? Like, I thought he gave her the money and said never come back, and then next thing you know,
because
like,
she got on the bus and
just went around.
They brought her to him. Remember, they bring her up there. Like the Project Mayhem brings her up there.
Just like they were in the shit and getting ready to cut his balls off.
Yeah.
That was
she's
fucking
at the restaurant,
crazy.
he has to tell her clean food.
Right.
And then she gets up and leaves, and she gets on the bus. If you watch that scene again, when she gets on the bus and starts going to the back, you see other people start getting up in the seats and following her as the bus.
That makes sense now that you say something.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
What an intricate movie. Like, I love asking questions.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you to read the whole book,
yeah.
But go online and read the differences between the ending of the book and the film. And it kind of makes sense, because I don't know how they could have filmed the ending of the book to make it, like, I don't think it would have been as it would have had such a cool aesthetic. Like, they end different. Like, I wouldn't say
suicide.
No, he didn't.
Oh, okay. I was going to say,
no,
if it's suicide, that's kind of a
cop-out.
It's
not
okay.
more negative. I mean, it's still like the, Chuck Palahniuk style of, it's kind of, it's still his style. Like, it doesn't, it's, it definitely, it falls like into the void of accuracy in that, it doesn't seem odd considering the plot. But I would say, like, if the film had the book ending, I think it would have been a little off-putting to some crowd.
Right.
Because I still think that scene at the end where they're holding hands and all the buildings are exploding, like, it's a cool scene. It has a great visceral feel to it,
It turns it into a good date movie. Because before that, it was...
Which it definitely wasn't up until that point. Like,
right.
Like, they really kicked the love story out of that one, don't they? Like,
I was just kind of fucking confused throughout most of it. Even rewatching it and shit, I still trying to connect it to an extent where he's sitting there talking to himself about... and fucking drinking a beer, and it even shows him by himself. So, like, I guess I have to just accept that, like, he's fucking mentally ill, but I don't know.
Well, like you said, when he meets him, he created, like, everything he wanted to be in this other person. It's like, that phone call at the beginning where he calls him and then he gets called back.
Right.
He really didn't get called back. That's just his mind working it out to bring those together. Then he goes to a bar and drinks by himself and talks himself into being, this.
Why wouldn't you be
person.
Tyler at the end of it instead of whatever? I don't know. Maybe I'm fucking crazy. It seems like Tyler Durden was a better person to be in this scenario. No? Or would you rather be Edward Norton or whatever his fucking name? I'm sorry. I just watched it last name. I still can't think of his fucking name.
Edward Norton.
But, like, real name in the movie.
They never tell you.
They don't? Okay. I was going to say. Then that makes sense then why I don't know it.
He says, at one point, he says, like, like, I am Jack's medulla on the
Jai.
and stuff.
Gotcha.
I think they even confirmed that that's not actually his name. They never actually give you his name. Like, so I think it's pretty cool. I think that's a cool concept. Like that, man. That's such a good goddamn film.
It really is.
It is. Like, it's always fun to watch. I actually got to show a buddy of mine who had never seen it, like a few months ago. I was like, dude, I got to pop the Blu-ray in, and we checked it out. And he was like, that's a fucking visceral experience. I was like, yes, it is. You won't forget the first time you see it. No, you won't. You won't. You know, it's one of those films. I told him, I was like, man, like, oh, I've got to turn him on to such cool shit. That rewatchability too. Huh? Like, not too many people, like, films have rewatchability, but like, if you don't want to rewatch it, you fucking miss something. Like, I don't know, at least once. You know what I'm saying? You want to rewatch it just to see if or all the shit that you missed, but I don't know. The more we talk about new movies and shit, Climax came out in 2018. Never. Yeah, that's that one you A24, and I'm a big fan. I think the most recent shit, there's 97 A24 movies apparently, and you could take the quiz and put it on my Facebook shit. But there's some good hits in there too, man. Some ones that you definitely have heard of, man. Disaster Artist. Yeah. Disaster Artist is an A24 film. Have you ever watched a movie and it was just completely wrong about a certain issue in life itself, and it almost turned you off from enjoying the movie? And I felt like that's what Climax did to me. Trust me, I get it. Acid, setting shit, like, not quite a psycho, not exactly right, but when you're around a shit ton of people and everybody's fucking turned on, talking about fucking each other and shit, but then suddenly y'all all find out that, we've been spiked with the sangria because the sangria's got LSD in it and shit, and like, I didn't see anybody finish a cup. Really? Anybody. But everybody is like fucking. So that's kind of like the MacGuffin. They're just like, oh, there's LSD in this. Yeah, and by the end of it, it's just a bad representation of what the power of LSD could do for people. And like, maybe I'm just a shithead that listened to way too much Terrence McKenna, but this movie right here, as much as it was like a prequel to a porn, it's fucking awful. A prequel to a porn. Yeah, because I'm saying the chick, I could see her having sex with all three of the remaining. Yeah. But you don't see it. It just says Climax, and then you credits roll. Good times, right? No. It doesn't sound like that. Doesn't, like, who watches the plot unless it's some real fucked up shit that you're just trying to, that's the only thing that can get you off nowadays. Like, I don't fucking know. Yeah. But the plot of this whole story was just subtitles, too. Kryptonite. I can't fucking do it. Before we wrap up, then, what's the last good thing you've watched? Besides AEW Fight for the Fallen. So good. Good. Sunny in Philadelphia. Fucking rerun? Seasons fucking 1 through 4. Yeah. Just going back in and seeing how Frank gets, and like Charlie's whole fucking apartment completely changes and shit. Like, I didn't really think about all the things that stick with it. Yeah. And that's what's so great about Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There is a certain mold to it where, like, they're gonna sell the bar and shit. And one of, if not the longest running sitcom comedies now. Like, absolutely. I'm looking towards season 15. I mean, it's gonna be a fucking blast. Like, I can't wait. Like, I hope they continue for a long. Because as far as like South Park being, like, everybody talks about their new episode comes out, like, Sunny might not get the social media attention that it fucking deserves by all means, but like, I'll be damned if the fans ain't there each and every time on FX watching it and fucking waiting for the new shit. FX puts out quality shit, man. I watch Dave. Yeah. Hi, I'm Dave. Now I know him by his government name, and I'm big on it. It's good. So when you come up to him and say, "Hey, LD," he's just gonna stop you and say, "Well, my name is." Yeah, that's it. That was such a cool fucking scene too, where he was just looking at you in the camera and shit. Like, I don't know, like, that's Dave right there. Holy fuck, man! Like, I know a bunch of Daves, but that's Dave. That's Dave. Yeah, super solid, man. Like, and I'm not the world's biggest hip hop fan. Like, I like certain artists. Without, I'm not even gonna get into it. Just quick. I like a lot of old school stuff. Right. And, fewer newer ones. But it's just never been my thing. Definitely a metal guy, obviously. Been listening to Static X. Don't know how I feel about it yet. Probably talk about that next time. Right. But I'll say this. It made me like the concept of what he was doing more. I was like, man, that's cool. because like I do hear a lot of people shit on white rappers, you know, like it's just something that shouldn't exist. But you know, like if you're creative, man.
Have you heard anything about NF?
No.
N like Nick.
Yeah.
F like
Frank.
fuck it. Yeah, whatever. NF. Wow. The Search. That whole fucking album is like this kid, fucking 20, 21, 22, something like that. This sounds like some fucking Slim Shady LP shit where it was like, dude, it's all creative. It's like concepts to the songs that he's talking about and shit. Like, I'm not bullshitting. Like, that was probably one of the best rap albums of 2019, but you had to go up against like Kevin Gates and shit, in my opinion, and maybe.
I think I remember you telling me about that. I might even have downloaded it just to
good
check it
shit.
out. I don't think I ever listened to it, but I'll look it up again. That's cool. But, yeah. Besides that, like I said, you know, FX, man, I'll probably. I mean, I'm getting ready for. I think I need. It's Always Sunny in Philly's about to come back soon, isn't it? And you know, fall comes, South Park will be here. I think, right?
I fucking hope, but like it feels like the world's gonna change, and we're just going to be okay with it because everything's done changed. Like kids don't go to school anymore. Like if they do go to school, it's only for like a day or two a week and shit. And like, how long will that last? Like if Trump wins re-election, but we're gonna actually end up going back into politics if I go down that road.
Yeah, no, we're trying not to. Let's not get into that today. Maybe next round.
Maybe. Only if we get some likes on this and shit.
Yeah. Shit. I mean, but to be true, I haven't really watched too much myself either. I watched that show, The Boys. They got a new season starting in September. It's Amazon Prime. It's like superheroes, but if they were corporate, like, you know, backed. So it's like a massive company that, like, you know, like markets and backs all the superheroes, tells them who to save, tells them how to, you know, get likes and get popularity to be the big ones.
Right.
Like, you know, like it's like superheroing's a business, and like all the main ones are like just regular pieces of shit, just with superpowers. And like,
this is what bothers me, though.
I get it.
It feels like
I'm just saying, like to me, it ended up being like, yeah, like when I heard it, I kind of thought I was like, I'm kind of burnt out on the superhero thing, and I'm a superhero fan,
right? But just like the rich guy, fuck the rich people in this world and shit, and like as much as
really
it's
doesn't
like,
attack,
you sure? Okay.
Yeah, it really doesn't attack like wealth,
just common pieces of shit and whatnot. And I'm like, man, if that's the case,
like they fucking like.
Did you look at Batman?
Because
like
they
he's a
do
piece of shit
drugs and shit, and because they fucking like kill people and get away with it because the company like pays shut up money and stuff like that. It's like, you know, like
good lawyers.
Yeah, essentially shit like that, like shit that you look at like, god damn, if somebody did that to my family, I'd be furious too. Like it's a different perspective on it, and I ended up liking it way more than I thought I would. You know, because it does attack, like it kind of brings like the religious thing into the Christian thing, or into the superhero thing, like where one of the girls is just, mild spoiler, she's like a Midwestern girl who was raised like in a very Jesus, you know, environment, very Christian type environment.
Right.
And they book her for like this big Christian thing back in her home state. And when she gets there, like she's just like, I don't even know if I believe this anymore. I can't do this. This is you know, now I feel like I'm just going against my moral values. Like, you know, so there's some, you know, kind of nuances to the characters in there and growth. It just ended up being better than I thought it would be.
Right.
I'm not going to tell the whole plot to it, but it is a different take on it, and I thought that it was pretty good. And it's super cool looking and like funny violent, where like when people get, like when the superheroes do kill people, like it's not like gratuitous, but it is, but it's almost in like that over the top way.
Right.
So, I don't know. I enjoyed it. And yes, I do judge Batman, because me and my buddy got in a conversation the other day.
He used to kill people.
No, not even kill bullshit. People, like, look, I know a lot of people wanted to give shit to certain Batmans, whatever. Besides George Clooney's Batman, I actually think all of them were pretty good. Even Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer had some pretty damn good comic booky dialogue in that.
But Clooney doesn't get the nod.
Clooney doesn't get nod because Clooney even accepted. He was like, I did not take it seriously. Like, yeah, he apologized for that shit. Also, yeah, fuck that movie, dude. At some point, he shows up with a credit card that says Batman on it and hands it to someone like, I'll pay for this gala. And I was like, whose fucking social did he use to get that? Like, whose social security did Batman
Tim Robbins.
Billionaire's secret identity. Yeah,
Tim.
okay, so now he's a fucking thief who steals identities, too.
Yeah.
I was like, so automatically... Like,
Vigilante, baby.
It's unsensible comic book bullshit in that Batman and Robin movie. Fuck that movie.
Where have I seen that before? Unsensible I don't know. Just life itself.
Yeah, it's fucking rotten.
You son
like
of
the
a
Ben
bitch.
Affleck one killed a bunch of people, and this is the shit I talk about. Like, comic book fans are so fucking picky about shit. Like, Batman killed a bunch of people. They're like, fuck that. I don't like Batman killing people. But they love the Keaton Batman, who, if you add up his death kill in both Batman and Batman Returns,
Right.
the good ones, with Danny DeVito and Jack Nicholson, he killed more people than Jeffrey Dahmer killed in the real world.
Come on.
No! Dude, at one point in the film, he rolls into Ace Chemical and drops a bomb out of it and blows up the whole plant with like a whole squad of Joker's goons in it.
There was no good folks in there. Like, it wasn't...
But for a character whose trait is, I don't kill, I put them in jail, blowing up a chemical plant full of dudes...
When you're Keaton...
Yeah, let me clarify. I'm totally cool with it.
Thank you.
I don't have a problem with it. What I have a problem is the disparity between someone going, this Batman's great, he didn't kill. This Batman killed, I don't like it. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He threw the Joker off a roof. The Joker was escaping, and instead of either capturing him or anything, he just dropped him 300 feet to his death. It's one of the most iconic movies in the franchise, and he just literally just killed the Joker. And in Batman Returns, he throws a bomb at a guy, just here, catch. Blown up. So I love the Keaton Batman. Love it. Watched him on 4K. Tits. No fucking bitching about him whatsoever.
So if I liked Carrie as the Riddler, though...
I didn't hate it. Like, a lot of people...
That'd be the only thing I'd say. That was in Clooney's Batman, though, correct?
No, that was in Kilmer's.
Kilmer's. Ding dong.
Clooney's Batman had cool out, freeze, chill out. Like, it had Schwarzenegger. Yeah, Uma Thurman and Schwarzenegger. Yeah, the shitty one.
So just the Val Kilmer just had Riddler.
It had Riddler, Two-Face.
Two-Face.
Tommy
Got
Lee Jones,
Tommy Lee, ding dong. That's why I like that fucking movie. Then that's what it was. I was gonna say, because like I could have swore.
He's a bad Two-Face. He's a bad Two-Face.
I mean, nobody can be Aaron Eckhart.
No, well, it's not even just that, man.
Goddamn.
Like, Tommy Lee Jones, he didn't take that shit seriously back then. He acted cartoony and campy, and I don't blame him for it. It wasn't his thing. He probably shouldn't have been cast in the role. But I think it's Tommy Lee Jones, so we're gonna watch.
After Men in Black, yeah.
Men in Black's great, man. But I mean, fucking everything he's fucking been in, dude. The dude's fucking solid. If you haven't watched No Country for Old Men, watch that shit now.
Natural Born Killers.
Yeah, Natural Born Killers. He's terrific in that. Obviously,
God
that's class. I think goes without saying. But I actually keep meeting people who've like, I've never seen No Country for Old Men, and I was like, you're fucking crazy, dude.
Hey, you're talking to somebody.
You never seen it? That's an amazing film. Like, no bullshit. That might be the best Tommy Lee Jones
God damn
movie.
it.
Why aren't you watching that?
Because it don't have vibes. I need vibes in it. Have you heard of our vibes and shit? Like, I need to see something more than just the storyline. There's got to be some sort of cinematography that cohesively goes together. And I don't know if it's like the Birdman type shit where I just need a straight scene where it just goes behind the person and like it almost feels like real life type shit. And I heard that was just like he goes around just killing people and flicking, like he flicks the coin and then you either live or die type shit. Like that's what I've heard from the movie, and I'm like, well, that's driving a car.
With no context, it makes no sense and it sounds stupid.
But it's just like you haven't.
With no context, it's not going to make sense. You need to watch the
I didn't like the dude's face. You're not supposed
not
to like him.
No.
I know. That's what I figured.
No, dude, he's supposed to make you feel super uncomfortable because he's a fucking like
Grim Reaper type
No,
shit.
he's like a literal like definition of a psycho sociopath. Like that character is made to be like just the most unpleasant and like
So watch a 2-hour movie.
It's the literal angel of chaos. It's like, I mean, dude, that movie's crazy, but it's not just because of, I mean, Javier Bardem's fucking terrific.
Right.
Shit. Dude, we were just talking about Jericho. Jericho based an entire character off that fucking guy.
Right.
Like,
He's GOAT.
He's GOAT, and the GOAT is telling you, God damn, this movie is great. I'm gonna base a whole character off this guy. Like, I'm not shitting you, man. It's a terrific film. Like, it's slow. But its pacing is perfect, and the story tells. Woody Harrelson's in it.
God damn it! All right, If you had to push me.
Josh Brolin,
That's one way
Woody
to get
Harrelson, man. Come on, man.
Big old Woody. Woody Harrelson.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in it for like a third of it, man. And Josh Brolin's fucking good too, man. Like, Josh Brolin's a great actor. Like, he was cool. I liked him in Planet Terror as that fucked up doctor. I always liked him in that. Of course, like, you know, he played Thanos. He was Cable in Deadpool 2. You know, Josh Brolin's fucking terrific, man. He played Tommy Lee Jones, young Tommy Lee Jones in The Men in Black, the third one. When he went back in time.
Gotcha.
Yeah, when Smith goes back in time by jumping off the building. Yeah. I love that. That's that one that's got that dude from Flight of the Conchords as the bad guy, and that shit is too funny.
Right.
When he's like, "Oh, I am the baddest villain."
That's
and
what I
the other
don't...
one's like, "No, I am." He's yelling at himself like,
right.
Oh man.
But I just don't get how we do continuously like recreate classic old films and either fuck them up or make them slightly better type shit. But like, I know you've seen this meme, and we're gonna go ahead and close the show out with meme talk. But it's like the meme talking about like Lisa Simpson with the fucking board up, and you got the light on it saying, why won't like movie studios take good ideas for movies in the past that just had bad casting and bad acting and shit, remake those fucking movies into something we can actually watch instead of reacting and remaking good movies that we did like and then trying to remake them into the next sequel type shit. Like, there's not a creative thought in the movie straight.
A lot of it, I can guarantee, is legal bullshit.
Other than Ari Aster and fucking Eggers from the Lighthouse shit. That was... I don't give it the credit everybody gets it. Did you watch Lighthouse?
It's on my... I have it downloaded. Is it good?
You like Pattinson. I love Defoe.
I love them both.
Yeah. I didn't love the movie.
Are they good in it?
I don't know if you have to like the movie in order to see how good or bad they are. That's one of those movies, like, there's a lot of people that hated Midsommar and fucking despised Hereditary, and I'm like, whoa, you're just wrong. But when I say, hey, I didn't really enjoy what?
I mean, if it's somebody who has, like, just, you know, a negative connotation toward cult movies and horror films, I could understand.
That's what it feels like.
And that's fine. If you don't like horror films, you're not going to watch Hereditary and go, well, that's a damn good movie.
It wasn't that scary.
Yeah.
Nothing scary about it. And I'm like,
even if it wasn't scary, it was thought-provoking.
It's a thrill ride as a motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, man. And that's that one thing, like, all right, so one of the things before you meme out and we go back to it, because I agree with you right there. I do, but I think the problem is rights, legal matters. Like, a lot of times, like, that's the big thing. It's like, that stops so much shit from happening, man. Like, and I don't think, like
who's censoring the good shit?
I don't know if it's about censorship. I mean, it's
cancel culture needs to cancel whoever's fucking stopping.
Yeah, now that I agree, because like, I mean, it's stupid shit, man. It's like, all right, so look, I'll give you a good example of a really big example of rights management fucking up shit. In 2008, Universal made a killer Incredible Hulk movie. Right, it came out after the first Iron Man in Marvel Universe. It's part of that.
Not Norton, no. That's
the Norton one.
That was the Norton one.
Yeah, killer flick. Did you watch that one?
I heard it was bad.
The Norton was good.
The second Norton, then. Was it the second Norton?
They only made one Norton Hulk movie. The first one was the 2003 Ang Lee one with Eric Bana.
No, I didn't watch it then.
Yeah, that one is a good movie. It's just, I don't know, it's not a good Hulk movie. Like, it's different. It's kind of. We'll have to. Me and you can have a private talk on that.
It's gotta have a fourth wall breakage, and like that's what it gets me.
The 2008 Hulk film was a really good Hulk movie. Tim Roth was the villain. He's a great actor. If you don't know who I'm referring to, Tim Roth, Mr. Orange in Reservoir Dogs.
Gotcha. Glorious Bastards and shit, right?
No, he wasn't in Glorious Bastards.
Unless he had a cameo. I'm thinking Eli.
In Pulp Fiction, he at the beginning of the movie, the two in the coffee table, he's the guy.
Okay.
Tim Roth.
No, you know that guy.
Yeah, terrific actor. He did that show on Fox, if you've never watched it, Lie to Me, where he played like that doctor who could tell people
things about it and shit. But
it was actually a decent show. It wasn't terrible. He's a good actor. He's solid generally if you see him in things, man. Like, but he's the bad guy in it, man. Edward Norton's the Hulk. Liv Tyler Hot is the love interest, and it's not a bad film. It's a pretty good Hulk movie. There'll never be a single Hulk sequel. Now, you see the Hulk all the time in the Marvel films, right? And you notice that for some reason there hasn't been a Hulk sequel in 12 years, but The Hulk's been in the Avengers movies, and he's been in Thor.
Just making little spots here and there.
Well, he gets big parts or whole parts in other people's movies. Universal owns the right, not Disney, to make Hulk films. So the only people that can make a Hulk film is Universal. And they make the money from it. So Disney's not just going to let them make all that money and not get a slice of it. So they just continuously keep putting Hulk in his own things. In movies where he's not the main character. He's not the tagline. He's not the sell point. And that's the shit I'm talking about. Years ago when Kevin Smith wanted to make Mallrats 2, Universal was like, we own the rights. And he was like, all right, well, can I buy the rights? No, we don't sell rights. And they were like, well, he was like, well, can, I pay to make the movie? And no, that doesn't fit our interests, our schedule right now. Like, they literally wouldn't let him make a movie that he funded himself because they own the rights to it. So, I mean, like, that shit stops a lot of cool things from happening. And I'm willing to bet it happens a lot more than we think it does.
Right.
Either that or bullshit ratings, in production, man. Guillermo del Toro, the guy who made Pan's Labyrinth, another great film.
Right.
And the first two Hellboys, which I like the second one. I'm not a fan of the first. But he's a great director. He wanted to make In the Mountains of Madness, which is one of H.P. Lovecraft's most notable works, and it's one of the movies that I would sin greatly to see, and it has to be rated R because it's going to be a nasty visceral experience. It's a cosmic horror film, and they were like, yeah, we'll let you make it PG-13, and he was like, I'm not making this shit. Gore Verbinski was going to make a BioShock film.
Do you think Always Sunny in Philadelphia kind of touched on that PG-13 rated R movie type shit when they were trying to redo the Thunder Gun shit? But we're not going to do it. And they kind of did blow the seams off of it. Where I didn't really think about shit like that up until I saw that episode, and I'm like, how much shit is getting fucking withheld from us that we deserve as fans, because we went out and spent money on tickets and we bought T-shirts and shit, but. Why don't you take this? Because we think we could sell this in another country.
Well, it's because PG-13 ratings weren't even a thing until, I think, the late 70s, early 80s.
Fucking dumbest shit ever.
Well, no. They came out, I think they came out sometime around after Beetlejuice did, because I think that was one of the movies, because they were just like, this is going to be PG because we can't rate it R, but it's got a lot of death and the F word in it, so... Damn,
Keaton,
yeah,
Keaton.
But I think it opened the door for that kind of thing, and I think that's one of the first films where it kind of got in context and they created it. But when they created it, you got to think in the late '90s, man. Think about all those movies that were coming out that were hitting theater big time, like huge comedies like Rush Hour and all these spoof movies, and every one of them PG-13, and all the kids from school packed those motherfuckers on Friday and Saturday night, man, and the money came pouring in. Because kids can go to the theater by themselves. They don't need to be an adult to go see rated R movies. So Hollywood got the bulk of, hey, these are what's going to sell.
Right.
And that that future just kind of kept sticking. Think about comic book films. I know you haven't been the biggest fan,
right,
but up until the first Deadpool, there hadn't been a real rated R one besides Watchmen. So none of the main characters ever got a visceral experience that wasn't held back. And I agree, a lot of Captain America doesn't need to be rated R. He doesn't need to be going around like, fuck you, Red Skull. I get it. But Deadpool, you had to. And when they did, they were like, holy shit, this made a fuck ton of money. So Fox said, well, let's make Logan. That's how Logan got made. Because they weren't going to make that film. I don't think they were going to make it, or they were going to make a PG-13 version. But Deadpool did so well, they were like, let's take the fucking brakes off. And once again, money.
I mean, I didn't I love Deadpool. I didn't really like any of the other Marvel or fucking DC movies and shit, but then I think it was Leo that told me something about Logan. That's a little different and shit, and I was like, fuck, let me put it on right quick, and within 10 minutes, I'm fucking hooked. That fucking movie, action-packed.
Yeah.
Dude... visceral, like you said,
story, yeah.
Wow,
yeah,
fucking wow. But
that's kind of how The Boys made me feel. It kind of has that tone to it to me. I kind of feel like,
I don't know, make shit rated R again.
Yeah, I'm totally cool with that.
Right?
Give me my goddamn Mountains of Madness movie. I want motherfucking H.P. Lovecraft films that are absolutely. You can keep out the staunch racism he had. I totally understand, but goddamn it, give me that cosmic horror, and I'm not getting it. And it's upsetting the shit out of this fat nerd. and I don't like it. I don't fucking
Just
like
as
it
a
at all.
parent, like I don't think the FEC or whoever decides and dictates how these things get rated and shit, like I don't really think they have me and my family's best interests at heart and shit. Like
the
money,
MPAA.
it's just the money.
They
That's
do
all
it.
they fucking care about. Like if I'm actually going to go to the theater, would I?
Well,
for this?
I don't know how that works, but my impression is the MPAA rate stuff, and studios have to cut or or do whatever they have to do to change it. It's like Fight Club. We talked about that earlier. So, God damn, do you know what in Fight Club? You know the part where Marla rolls over into bed and she goes, "I haven't been fucked like that since grade school."
Yeah.
All right, she said something different. Let me look it up.
It's third grade or some shit, even younger. That's what I'm guessing. Like it's shit like that where I'm like, wow, this chick has been through the ringer, and it's supposed to be like that, but I don't understand how like you can censor shit out and we're not gonna have these same ideas with or without the literary context and dialogue and shit. Like I think just adding dialogue. Fucking Kevin Smith did a whole fucking movie, The Clerks and shit, and like if you didn't understand what was so big about that, like you missed the dialogue in that movie because it was the dialogue in Clerks that I think kept me coming back to it, where it's just like, yeah, it's just an ongoing, constant question now, like, well, is it wrong to kiss that chick? I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, because she used to do that, and like that's the question that I had to get over, and I think every man to a certain extent has to get over, unless they just don't bother them. I'm starting to get more like that.
God, I can't find it now because it's going to be something hard specific to
Dark.
look up. But anybody hears this, look it up. Marla said something way fucking worse than that originally.
Like fucking uncle raped me or some shit. Is what I'm
Like
guessing.
something
Like,
awful.
seriously.
Right? And like the MPAA was like, no, you can't keep it. And he cut a deal with him. He was like, all right, fine, I'll edit it. He was like, but the picture's close to release, so we can't change it anymore. And they were like, fine, just edit it and we'll rate it. So they rated it, sent it back to press, and that's what he changed it to. I haven't been fucked like that since grade school. Directors get pissed at that shit when you try to change, shit in there that pulls away from the narrative. And that's a big deal. Like, it can really change it. Batman, Superman, that was a big movie to me.
You don't fuck
Had
with
a lot of
Tarantino
complications
shit, though.
in it, but had a lot of controversy with fans. But when it came out, PG-13, 2 hour and 20 minute, got released in theater, and then a couple months later, a 3 hour director's cut rated R got released, with added visual effects, blood, more violence, more action, more plot.
A lot more tickets.
I
don't know.
I mean, it didn't get a lot of tickets, but universally, it was immediately like, this should have been.
This is what we
that
got.
was
Yeah,
released.
we should have got this.
And it just proves that fact. Like, people would have went and saw it. They would have went and saw it. They wouldn't have just, no, I don't want to see that. They would have been lined up. Just like they were. They still made a fucking $1 billion.
But it's this Nerf-style parenting shit where it's like your kids can't see anything that's outside of the requiem that the kids have to stay in order for you to stay sane as a parent and shit. And like, I don't know, I would rather have the kids see it on screen and see how that person reacts to it so they can justify in their own mind, well, what would I do? You know what I'm saying? But like, The Craft, I wanted to watch with my kids and shit because, you know what I'm saying, it was PG-13 and whatnot, and they were under 13, so I had to get the mother's permission. And that's like, it cracks me up that like, nah, there was almost a rape scene in that movie, so she can't watch it. And then when I watched it, literally, he forces her down to the ground, she kicks him in the nuts and runs away. And that's why it got a fucking PG-13 rating, and that's why my child couldn't watch it. And I'm like, what would be... Yeah.
I thought The Craft was rated R.
Maybe then. Maybe that's what it is then.
I'm pretty sure it's rated
like,
R.
yeah, there was some cuss words and shit, and like, maybe, but like, the rape scene was the reason why my youngest couldn't watch it with me and the other girls and shit. Like, I got 2 daughters, so like, yeah, y'all fucking get together, you little witch hood shit. Like, I really don't care. Maybe I'm bad about that, but it's like, everything was so censored, and like I had to either be for Jesus or against Jesus type shit from day one. And I think there's way too much gray out here to act like you got to believe the same thing I think, or else you're going to be disowned as a kid to me or some shit. Like, that's just silly. But it's like, if you go against what I said, well, you can't watch it, you'll also be reprimanded and shit. And like, I don't know, and that's that point where I explained to Layla that, like, look, this is the point where I realized I'm gonna start just asking for forgiveness rather than permission. So it was that next week I took him to see Ma in a movie theater and shit. Yeah. And that's rated R, but like, fuck you and your thoughts on what it's gonna mean and shit. But like, I think that was half the reason it was rated R, because it was a almost blowjob scene where she came up.
You gotta watch that though, man.
But it's like, you see the dashboard and the chick's face comes up. So obviously the kids know exactly what she was doing, and they had no fucking idea. And like, I didn't ask them, but at the same time, like, if that's the reason to say that you can't watch a movie is just because it was a sexual act that was displayed, the after effects of that sexual act, without actually like the gruesome goo and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, there could be dirty shit online that kids could look up if there's not correct parental fucking controls and shit on it in the first place.
Yeah,
so like,
yeah.
Why don't you try to watch the shit with the kids first and then try to explain to them why it's wrong and shit? But it's like, if you don't watch those types of movies in the first place, then you probably won't. Yeah, you probably will be A-okay with a kid that's going to go narc on people for cussing and shit. Like, fucking words, dude. Seriously, words.
No, I get that, dude.
I'm so done with the words shit.
I hated that shit because, like, nobody likes that kid. That kid's the one left out. And that takes an emotional toll on them. It's going to stunt their growth and development. So it's good to have two dissenting opinions in charge, because then, like, there's always that idea of question.
Yeah.
Because, like, man, like, you remember those people in school, like, they were just, like, the minute you did anything, they were just, like, ringing the bell. Everybody's got to know, like, this person's bad. You know, my mom said they were bad. Like, and, like, you are not going to be a winner. You are not going to win in that scenario. You might get by a few times and kind of be the one that everybody's looking at like, good job.
Right.
But you're going to turn a lot more heads away, you know, being like that. Because I'm not saying it's bad not to, because somebody's like, somebody's like, well, you know, kids, sometimes they got to tell. I mean, of course. Yeah, no, of course. If it's a serious issue or something that's really making a child uncomfortable, they should say something. But for every little thing that somebody else does you don't like, if you're screaming to authority to try to get them to stop, that's a bad precedent to set.
Yeah.
You know? Because then you stop deciding, you stop learning what's right and wrong, and you just realize that now if I say this, stuff gets done.
Yeah. If I throw my emotion into it and cry, obviously I'm in distress, and you know what I'm saying, they don't want to see me, you know, discouraged and have all this anxiety inside of me and depression and all this and shit. And like, you can convince yourself that your kids are going through some shit that they're not actually going through, and you're just overthinking it. But at the same time, like, I want to just discuss shit with my kids, because I don't want my kids to just blindly follow anything that seems like, yeah, this is what's fucking famous and popular on TikTok now, so like, this is who I'm going to be. Like, that just bothers me, because it's so easy to fall into that trend, especially with the way TikToks are giving out fucking views and shit. Bro, they're giving views away, basically. Like, thousands of views for simple dances and shit. Like, but like, you got 1,000 views on that video, so like, but like, it's a China program and shit. Like, you got people in China, bots and shit, watching it. So like, I don't think that's real fucking views. But once you break a certain level on TikTok and shit, now you're into the millions of views and shit. But I still don't believe those numbers and shit. But like, maybe I'm just fucking anti.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it's harmful if it leads to someone like being creative and, you know, branching out their avenues, and, you know, like, if a kid starts doing that, has so much fun with it that they end up starting a YouTube channel and actually doing some pretty cool stuff, you know, that could be super beneficial. Like, you know, I'm not gonna downplay it, you know, and especially I can say that having that type of, you know, social outlook can be motivating to them. It's a different generation, so that could be a good way to get kids on board with, you know, trying to be creative, which I think is awesome. That's one thing I think about the last few generations, including ours, because we were one of the first ones, you know, a little older in our generation, was kind of the first YouTube generation to really dig into that. So, I mean, like, you know, it's where it all started. But, like, man, what the kids are doing now, like, people always, like, I mean, I got friends still, they're like, man, why can somebody watch somebody play fucking video games? And I was just like, why would you not play video games if people were going to watch you and you have a chance to make income with it? I was like, why would you not do that? I was like, and there's a lot of kids out there that they don't want to watch regular TV or they don't want to get into this.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's not just watching video games, too. I was like, yeah, if you get on YouTube and you watch it, it's just watching the footage. I was like, but if you actually get on these people's live stream, it's a community. Everybody's talking. They're having conversations. Like, there's discussions. You know, like, sometimes people watch them. I got into watching video games originally because I was having trouble at a game, and I went to go look, and I ended up watching this dude play a whole game that I was interested in and never looked at. And, you know, just kind of saw, okay, this makes sense. I dig this now.
Right.
So, you know, I think it's context, and I think that matters. So, but, you know, having a child take that creativity and move it to the next level, I think is definitely important. And I think that you do a good way to stoke that flame.
We'll see. I don't know. But it feels to me that, like, if you already diagnose them and say that, like, yeah, you're a Christian or you're an atheist just like me and shit, it just feels to me the more strict you are and shit. Like, I think a lot of people...
That's a good term for it. I diagnose you Christian.
Kind of what happens when you're a kid and shit. Like, I was diagnosed Pentecostal and shit. So, like, yeah, we party and dance to our fucking...
Oh, yeah, dude. I'm sure that's a big thing a lot of Sundays. You're going to church. I don't want it. You're going.
Every fucking Sunday.
Yeah.
But eventually you start playing ball and you realize, like, holy shit, I can get what I want and be their favorite kid if I just act like this is all real and shit. And, like, did I play the chord? Yeah. I had a brother that was 5 years older and a sister that was, like, their favorite that was a year younger and shit. So, like, that was my only ticket I could play, and I played it as hard as I could until they fucking made me take that Chris Rock album back, and then, like, the Deftones, that Witch Party or Knife Party shit where that chick's fucking screaming. Swear to God, he busted in my room and said, that's witch music, give it to me. Took my fucking White Pony album out and put it in his room. Did he throw it away? Did he break it? And fucking, I don't know. But ever since then, I was like, all right, this dude doesn't want me to grow and evolve and shit, so he can go fuck himself in that corner and work himself to death and shit. And, like, as much as, yeah, he's your dad, she gonna talk shit? Never. My kids don't know nothing about him because he don't fucking come around and shit. Like, did I tell him don't come around? No. That's his choice. And, like, I gotta give him that choice. But, like, for me to sit there and talk shit about people that aren't involved, it seems like a waste. Yeah, it just seems like a waste of time and shit. But I don't know. Nonetheless, I guess this is like parenting corner /
This shit got real.
The whole fucking podcast basically is me trying to get away from comics and DC and Marvel shit, but, like, there's a good fucking 20, 30 minutes of, like, JR just trying to explain it.
Well, it's relatable, man.
Exactly.
And I think that's why I always recommend things, man, because there's always something relatable in it. There's always something relatable in it. And if you can't relate to the media and the things that you're entertained with, then I think it's... I think if you can relate to them, if you can relate to the things that you're entertained with, like, it can give you alternate perceptions on situations you may never be in. Like, you can take that creativity that you get or that inspiration, and you can put yourself in somebody else's shoes. You know, like I don't think it's like, because people say they're like, oh, this shit's harmful, and I know that maybe some people can't distinguish that, but it's like, if I watch a movie with violence in it, I don't actually feel compelled to do violence. I still know it's wrong. Like, I still know it's wrong. So it's not influential to me in that type of way, but it's influential to me that if I see a character study on someone going through, for example, rich struggles or you know, intense struggles and coming out of it a richer person, I might be able to relate to that and maybe be able to apply some of those lessons to real life. If the story's well thought out and built correctly enough, you know what I mean?
Waves.
Is that a movie?
2019. Jesus Christ. A24.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, though. Like, you don't expect it. Hereditary type accident and shit, but it's like, it fucking goes into such a deeper fucking movie. And I just love fucking deeper meanings in movies, and Climax just did not. But Waves did.
All right.
100%.
I might check out Waves, and especially Lighthouse. Like, I think it's time I dig into it, man. I'm going to enjoy some of this weekend. New games coming out for PS4, Ghost of Tsushima, samurai shit. Might pick it up, try it out. You know, might give it a round or something. Figure some shit out. You know, get into the things that we miss, man. Because that's my thing. That's what I've learned today. Like, we're talking about all this stuff. I'm getting excited. I need to just focus and dig into it, man, and appreciate that shit. Because it all started with the meme conversation with creators and the abundance of, and like, you know, like, even though we're here and you may think this conversation's exciting, boring, or whatever, we're still, you know, putting that out there to try to, you know, you gotta try to just forge your own path.
Listen to the first, second, fucking up to the 5th episode and shit. It feels like the production and shit. Like, I think I'm starting to somewhat figure out how the fuck this all works, but it's about channels.
We got
shit,
corona
like,
limitations, so
yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
But nonetheless, it's a pretty good episode. I'd definitely say check out Mark Norman on YouTube or some shit. As far as comedy is concerned, as far as music, fucking new music everywhere, but definitely check out Constant Failure, because I don't know, if you haven't liked that page too, go ahead and give that a shot. I don't know, you haven't shared anything from Constant Failure to Non-Judgmental. What's going on
We
here?
are finishing up record.
Sounds good.
Like, about to probably finish the last song very soon, and hopefully get it in the mixing process. I need to get some album artwork done up, and yeah, just finishing up. I just want to, I guess I want to put stuff out when I feel it's completely ready to go.
Right on.
You know,
We'll definitely look to
project expanded further than I thought it was, so enjoy it.
Motherfucking EP and shit, bitch.
Get out there and fucking create
something.